at the very top of must-have qualities of remarkable teenagers is assertiveness. This skill is so crucial that every teenager must be empowered to have it. Otherwise, they will struggle to navigate teenagehood. Remember, during teenage years, their brain is undergoing massive changes. And it is during this time that they develop that need to belong. And this makes them very susceptible to peer pressure. And this is what makes assertiveness a very important social and communication skills, because it enables someone to communicate their stance and their stand clearly and in healthy ways, whilst respecting the rights, the thoughts, and the wishes of others.
Raising remarkable teenagers requires we model assertiveness.
As psychologists, now more than ever, we are convinced that you cannot maltreat your teenager to good shape. Neither can you just sit back and hope that they develop good and acceptable behavior. What we know works for sure is developing firm and fair boundaries and consequences that inspire teenagers to positive behavior. You and I know that there are various ways of communicating.
And as mentioned before, being assertive is when you communicate clearly and calmly while respecting the rights, thoughts, and wishes of others.
The adage, say what you mean and mean what you say, has never held much weight as it does when we are talking about assertiveness. This is when you communicate your needs in a clear, calm, and composed manner, and you mean exactly what you say.
On another hand, you can be passive and refuse to state a stance and do nothing.
This sends the message to the kids that they can trample all over you, which usually results in disrespect, the very thing that you hope to gain from them. It leaves you frustrated, stressed, and trapped. Being passive may seem the easiest for a parent who is desperate for love. But in evading the issue, you rob the teenager the ability to develop that mental strength, the strengths that come with the negotiations that happen during assertive communication.
Aggressive is the polar opposite of being passive. You become an overbearing parent, lashing commands and orders.
This is usually a sign that you have lost control of the situation and of yourself, and you have absolutely no faith in your ability to influence. You see that the only remaining way is by force and control. Unfortunately, this can lead in young people rebelling and retaliating, which is not a pretty sight. Other parents choose to go the passive-aggressive way, which is a sly way of controlling. While they are not overtly aggressive, they induce blame, guilt, and shame, and even pity, just to make things happen. While they might get some result from this is never from a position of understanding and respect. I believe that you can now see why assertiveness is not only an important skill, but a completely powerful skill. Assertiveness with teenagers requires that you have an absolute clarity and confidence in your what, when, why, and then what again.
You want to know your what, when, why, and what.
Your clarity and confidence eliminates stress and anxiety and communicates to the teenager exactly where you stand fun. At that point, the teenager may not see it as such, but you knowing your why communicates to them that you're not just being random, but you have a rationale for what you are requesting. A rationale that can be assessed for its fairness and its considerate nature. When you are assertive, you are clear about your goal and your expectation. You inspire and promote equality. And as you do this, you are modeling to your teenager how to be assertive. We influence others by the quality and the confidence of our convictions. By being assertive, you are demonstrating to your teenager that they are important, they matter. But another thing you're also doing, you are showing them that you are important too. You are making requests, you are expressing your thoughts, your feelings without violating their rights. And in this way, you inspire them. When being assertive, your self-confidence and self-determination can be relied on, and it is more likely to be respected than when you are being aggressive or passive. This program, as is all our programs, is based on modeling and mentoring. In this case, you want to model assertiveness.
Raising remarkable teenagers requires that we are assertive.
Therefore, it is imperative that you acquire this skill yourself so that you are able to model it to your teenagers. As we have said before, as I've always said, it is very hard to give that which you haven't got. And in modeling and mentoring, it's about demonstrating that which you are.
I am sure by now you're asking yourself, so how do I develop assertiveness and how can I model that to my teenager?
Firstly, I'll show you a process that you can follow to develop assertiveness. Secondly, I will show you how to model and mentor your teenager to be assertive. Let's take this case study. Here is how you can use the 7 steps process in this situation. Decide to stop how you respond to their rude behavior. Understand and acknowledge that the kid's brain is changing in massive ways. So massive are these changes that even the kids themselves don't understand what's happening. But these changes should not be an excuse for rude behavior or bad behavior or for us not to do anything. Firstly, let your teenager understand that you will not be spoken to in this manner. That is your way of valuing yourself. The next point is, remind them that I do not speak to you like that. The next point is, I would like more positive behavior. You are directly requesting for what you want. The fourth point is that you are stating that that behavior is not acceptable. The fifth point is, I am available when you're ready to speak kindly, so you're leaving the doors open for them to come to you if they need to speak, but they must be ready to speak to you kindly. The sixth point is, a lack of kindness will cost you. That means you're showing them what are the consequences of your behavior. You're stating them. The seventh point is, move away and then go and praise your progress.
Please let us all note.
It is actually very important as parents and educators to choose when and where to be assertive. The overall aim in every situation is to create healthier relationships. Some things and some situations can be ignored. You do not have to be assertive all the time. Remember, we said earlier that being assertive is being respectful of the rights and wishes of other people, in this case, of the teenagers. So flexibility is very important because it's about valuing everyone that's involved in this situation and in the conversation. Assertiveness does not mean being pushy all day long. Assertiveness is like a lawnmower. You take it out of the shed when you need it. You do not need to walk around with it running all day long. As you learn to be more assertive, your brain develops new neural paths. And as with any learning, you reach a point where you have a confidence, where you are demonstrating this skill with ease. It's in this situation that now you are able to model and to mentor your teenager or your young person with ease. To conclude, let's go through the main points. During teenage years, the teenager's brain is developing at such massive speed. They develop a need to belong, and this need to belong makes them very vulnerable and susceptible to peer pressure. And that's why at this time, assertiveness is very, very important. As parents and educators, we can help by modeling and mentoring our teenagers and young people to be assertive. The 7 process of developing assertiveness includes
realizing you are valuable. Understanding assertiveness promotes equality, being direct with your request, keeping focused on the issue, remaining open to negotiations, communicating consequences, and then preparing, practice, praising progress.
Once you have developed this quality of being assertive, you can mentor, you can model, because we can only give that which we have. I hope this lesson on assertiveness has been helpful. And now, just before you go, I want to offer you something extremely, extremely remarkable. This is our program, Raising Remarkable Teenagers. I feel excited every time I offer parents this,
because of how much it's changing kids' lives.
A program comprising of 5 powerful series: Raising Respectful Teenagers, Raising Responsible Teenagers, Raising Resilient Teenagers, Raising Robust Teenagers, and Raising Radiant Teenagers. I feel blessed to be a child psychologist, a researcher, an educator, and a parent, someone who has worked with young people for over 20 years. And I'm telling you today that together we can help raise remarkable teenagers. In these 5 series, I share with you the psychology of influence and particular habits that will give you the clarity, the harmony, and the energy that will enable you to inspire your young person to be the limitless, unlimited kid that they truly are.
Each of the programs is £40, altogether 200, but for my inner circle members is 118, and for you today, only 59. Plus today you get all these bonuses for free. Go on, buy now. Click that link below. Let's get on our way to raising remarkable teenagers. Go on, click that button now. Go on, buy now. Click that link below. Let's get on our way to raising remarkable teenagers. Go on, click that button now.